How's it going, everyone? There are a lot of rooftop cargo box options out there. So I want to make a quick, concise video giving my recommendations on some that I prefer from using them and looking at them in the store and ultimately coming to a decision after buying mine. So let's get into it. First up is the Yakima Grand Tour 16 or 18 if you're looking for some more space. This was the one I owned personally, and I thought it was really, really great. It offers a lot of awesome key features, and on top of it all, it looks really clean with that nice glossy finish. You can find this for $880 over on REI, and it's big enough for 6 skis or 4 snowboards. And it also has the ability to open up on either side of the cargo box, which is extremely convenient, as I'm sure you can imagine as you're trying to get skis or luggage out of there. If you're on one side of the vehicle or another, you don't have to worry about which side you're on, and it can also lock on either side as well. Now, one con that I did see other people mentioning while I was looking at this cargo box, and one that I kind of encountered a bit myself, was when you do go to lock the cargo box, it has to be shut completely and very smoothly, I guess you could say, from front to back, so that the lock has to be flush. It wasn't as big as an issue, I think, as some of the reviews that I read made it out to be, but I did notice it. So as long as none of your cargo is hitting the top of the cargo box and you can't close it very easily, then you're not going to have any issues with this. And you just have to spend some time going to the front of the cargo box, pulling down on it, and going to the back, pulling down on it, and then you'll hear it click in the middle where the lock sits. So just a key call out for me there, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. And for the Yakima cargo box, I found the mounting mechanism really easy to use. It really took me no time at all. That was ultimately a big decision maker for me in terms of picking the Yakima over a Thule, was just that mounting system. Next up on the list is the Thule Force XT L roof box. Certainly a mouthful, and you can find that over on REI for $750. Now, you're really splitting hairs between these two cargo boxes in terms of size. They're essentially identical. Now, the difference will lie in the mounting mechanism as well as the locking mechanism. So it really just does come down to preference. They can both open up from either side of the car, as I mentioned with the Yakima. It's going to sound stupid to say, but a lot of it does come down to looks and kind of what your preference of the brand is too. What's going to matter is how does it look to you? Which one do you like the look of better? Do you like the matte look or the shiny look? Personally, I thought the Yakima looked a little bit cleaner. And then on top of that, which brand do you prefer? At the end of the day, we are splitting hairs here, but I'm just being honest and up front. They're pretty similar products. However, the mounting mechanisms was the differentiator for me. All right, next up is the Thule Motion XL. Now, if you prefer the glossy look to the matte look like me, you can go with this cargo box because it comes with two options, gray and black, and a glossy finish. It's priced at $950 over at REI. And again, the sizing is very, very similar to the previous cargo boxes that we discussed. However, the major difference here, and I think is why they call it Motion, is because it's extremely light at 46 pounds. So it's coming in roughly about 15 pounds lighter than the other cargo boxes. So if you plan on using your cargo box and taking it on and off, which I know is certainly a very feasible thing for a lot of people, then this could be a really great option, and just ponying up that extra $100 or so could very well be worth it. And if you want to see more details for any of these cargo boxes, you can find them in the description below. I have a link to each of them over to REI. They are affiliate links, so I'll get a small percentage of that sale at no cost to you, of course. It really is just a great way to support the channel. If you did find any of this information helpful, that would be great. Now, if you're coming across this video probably just looking into a rooftop cargo box, and I was in that same position roughly a year ago. I've used a ski rack before and used a cargo box as well, and I think a cargo box is absolutely worth the money 10 times out of 10. There's a few reasons for that. Obviously, there's a lot more space in there, so you can put luggage instead of just skis or whatever you're carrying. And on top of that, it stays dry. That's something that I really underrated and underappreciated. They're not waterproof by any means, but they are water resistant. So if you're taking your skis or boards up to the mountain, it's actually really nice when you get to the mountain and they're covered in mud, because the roads are obviously really muddy and covered in snow when you're going to the mountains. So that was just something that I honestly hadn't thought about before, and something I realized afterwards from buying a cargo box. Additionally, if you are living in an apartment, I would be very cautious about the type of cargo box you buy, and you should measure the height of your vehicle. Most apartment complexes and garages are at about a 7 feet height clearance. So I would measure your car, make sure you're not going to exceed that, because if you live in an apartment, it's going to make your life much more difficult. And if you're just going to the mall or somewhere else, anything like that, you're probably gonna have to park on the street and just get used to that lifestyle. So just a couple of key call outs that I had as an owner that if this is your first time purchasing, I wanted you to kind of think of. Other than that though, it's amazing owning one of these things and definitely worth the money. Also, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you found the video helpful, just to get the video to more people in the same position as you. And if you want to follow along for any outdoors, rooftop tents, cargo box information, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.